What if the greatest business lessons were taught over 2,000 years ago? What if the wisdom of Jesus' parables could guide entrepreneurs today? Jesus wasn't a businessman, yet his teachings are filled with timeless principles that every entrepreneur can use. His parables, simple yet profound stories, hold powerful lessons about risk, leadership, ethics, and growth. They teach us how to handle money, invest wisely, and build something lasting. In this video, we will explore key parables that reveal the secrets to success. Not just in business, but in life. Whether you are just starting out or already running a business, these lessons will help you grow with purpose, wisdom, and integrity. Let's dive in. Parable 1. The parable of the talents. Maximizing resources. Jesus told a story about a master who gave 3 servants different amounts of money, called talents. One received 5, another got 2, and the last was given 1. The first 2 invested and doubled their money. But the third servant, afraid of losing it, buried his talent in the ground. When the master returned, he praised the first 2 for their wisdom. The third, however, was scolded for his fear and inaction. This parable teaches a powerful lesson. Success comes from using what we have. In business, money, skills, and opportunities are like talents. Some take risks, invest, and grow. Others let fear hold them back. The biggest mistake is doing nothing. Entrepreneurs must be like the first 2 servants. They must take bold steps, make wise investments, and multiply their resources. Playing it safe may seem secure, but without action, nothing grows. The greatest rewards come to those who use their gifts wisely. Many of the world's most successful entrepreneurs started with limited resources but took bold steps to grow. Take Elon Musk, for example. He invested the money he made from selling PayPal into Tesla, SpaceX, and SolarCity. 3 industries filled with uncertainty. Rather than playing it safe, he risked everything to innovate, and today, his companies have reshaped technology and space exploration. Another example is Oprah Winfrey. She didn't come from wealth, but she used her talent and resources to build a media empire. Instead of settling for a traditional career, she took calculated risks, created her own network, and expanded her influence far beyond television. Both of these entrepreneurs multiplied what they were given. Like the servants in the parable, they didn't bury their opportunities out of fear. They invested wisely, took risks, and turned their talents into something far greater. The lesson? Playing it safe may feel comfortable, but growth comes from stepping out in faith and making the most of what you have. Parable 2. The parable of the sower. Building a strong foundation. Jesus told the story of a farmer who went out to plant seeds. Some fell on a hard path and were eaten by birds. Others landed on rocky ground, where they sprouted quickly but withered away because they had no roots. Some fell among thorns, which choked them as they grew. But the seeds that landed on good soil took root, grew strong, and produced a great harvest. This parable teaches a vital lesson about building a strong foundation. In business, ideas are like seeds. Some are thrown into bad markets or weak business models and never take off. Others start strong but fail because they lack structure and planning. Some businesses get distracted by too many challenges and lose focus. But those planted in the right environment, with patience and care, grow into something lasting. Entrepreneurs must choose their foundation wisely. A strong business needs the right market, a solid plan, and a clear vision. Success doesn't happen overnight. It grows from the right conditions, steady effort, and persistence. Many startups fail not because the idea is bad, but because they are planted in the wrong environment. Take Amazon, for example. Jeff Bezos started with a simple idea: an online bookstore. But he didn't rush into expansion without first building a strong foundation. He focused on customer experience, efficient logistics, and reinvesting profits. Because of this solid groundwork, Amazon grew into one of the largest companies in the world. On the other hand, many businesses launch with excitement but fail because they lack deep roots. Consider the rise and fall of WeWork. The company grew too fast without financial discipline or a sustainable model. When challenges came, it struggled to survive because its foundation wasn't strong. Entrepreneurs must be like the wise farmer in the parable. Success doesn't come from just having a great idea. It comes from planting it in the right conditions, nurturing it carefully, and ensuring it has the support to grow strong and last. Parable 3. The parable of the Good Samaritan. Ethical business practices. One day, a man was traveling when he was attacked by robbers. They beat him, took everything he had, and left him on the road to die. A priest passed by but ignored him. Then a Levite, a religious leader, saw him but also walked away. Finally, a Samaritan, a man from a group often looked down upon, stopped to help. He cleaned the man's wounds, took him to an inn, and paid for his care. This parable teaches the power of compassion and integrity. In business, it's easy to focus only on profit and ignore people in need. Some companies cut corners, mistreat employees, or neglect customers for the sake of money. But true success comes from doing what is right, even when no one is watching. Entrepreneurs who act with kindness and fairness build trust. Customers remain loyal to businesses that care. Employees work harder for leaders who treat them well. Business isn't just about making money. It's about making an impact. The best leaders, like the Good Samaritan, put people first. Businesses that prioritize ethics and compassion often achieve long-term success. Take Patagonia, for example. Instead of focusing solely on profits, the company commits to fair wages, environmental sustainability, and giving back to communities. By putting people and the planet first, Patagonia has built a loyal customer base and a strong reputation. Another example is Howard Schultz, the former CEO of Starbucks. He ensured that Starbucks employees, whether full-time or part-time, received healthcare benefits and stock options. While other companies cut costs at the expense of workers, Schultz believed in taking care of his team. This approach not only improved employee satisfaction but also led to better service and company growth. Like the Good Samaritan, these businesses succeed because they go beyond what is expected. They don't ignore those in need, they step up, help, and make a difference. Ethical leadership builds trust, and trust leads to lasting success. Parable 4. The parable of the workers in the vineyard. Fairness and leadership. Jesus told the story of a landowner who hired workers to tend his vineyard. Early in the morning, he agreed to pay the first group a fair wage. Later in the day, he hired more workers and promised them a fair payment as well. Even in the final hour, he brought in new workers. At the end of the day, he paid everyone the same amount. The first workers complained, saying it wasn't fair. But the landowner reminded them that he had kept his promise and had the right to be generous. This parable teaches an important lesson about leadership and fairness. In business, not everyone starts at the same time or in the same position. Some employees have been with a company for years, while others join later. Some businesses grow fast, while others take time. True leadership means keeping promises, rewarding effort, and treating people with respect. Entrepreneurs must focus on fairness, not comparison. Good leaders honor agreements, stay generous, and create workplaces where everyone feels valued. Success is not just about who started first. It's about how well the journey is led. Great leaders understand that fairness doesn't always mean treating everyone the same. It means honoring commitments and valuing each person's contribution. Take Satya Nadella, CEO of Microsoft. When he took over, he focused on creating an inclusive and growth-oriented culture. Instead of comparing employees based on tenure or past success, he emphasized collaboration, innovation, and individual impact. His leadership helped transform Microsoft into a more dynamic and forward-thinking company. Another example is Henry Ford. When he introduced the $5 workday in 1914, double the average wage, many thought he was being overly generous. But Ford knew that fairly compensating workers would improve productivity, reduce turnover, and create a more motivated workforce. His decision not only helped his employees but also made his company more successful in the long run. Like the landowner in the parable, strong leaders focus on fairness, not comparison. They reward effort, keep their promises, and lead with integrity. In business, success comes not just from what is given, but from how it is managed and shared. Parable 5. The parable of the mustard seed. Scaling with faith. Jesus spoke of a tiny mustard seed, one of the smallest seeds in the world. Yet, when planted, it grows into a large tree, big enough for birds to rest in its branches. Though it starts small, it becomes something great. This parable teaches the power of faith, patience, and growth. Every big business starts as a small idea. Many entrepreneurs hesitate to begin because their vision seems too small or insignificant. But just like the mustard seed, success takes time. What starts as one small step, one customer, or one investment can grow beyond imagination. Scaling a business requires faith. Challenges will come, and growth may be slow at first. But with persistence, dedication, and belief in the process, small beginnings can turn into something extraordinary. Great things often start small. What matters is the commitment to nurture them. Many of the world's biggest companies started as tiny ideas with uncertain futures. Take Apple, for example. Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak started the company in a garage with little money and no guarantee of success. But they believed in their vision, took small but steady steps, and over time, Apple grew into one of the most valuable companies in the world. Another example is Airbnb. The founders, Brian Chesky and Joe Gebbia, struggled to get their business off the ground. At first, they rented out air mattresses in their apartment just to make ends meet. It seemed like a small, almost insignificant idea. But they kept refining it, learning from failures, and pushing forward. Today, Airbnb is a global platform that has revolutionized the travel industry. Like the mustard seed, these businesses started small but grew into something extraordinary. The key was patience, persistence, and faith in the process. Success doesn't happen overnight, but with dedication and belief, even the smallest beginnings can lead to incredible growth. The parables of Jesus aren't just ancient stories. They hold real wisdom for today's entrepreneurs. From the parable of the talents, we learn that success comes to those who take risks and invest wisely, just like Elon Musk and Oprah Winfrey. The parable of the sower reminds us that a strong foundation is key, as seen in Amazon's careful growth versus WeWork's collapse. The parable of the Good Samaritan teaches us the power of ethical business, just like Patagonia and Starbucks. While the parable of the workers in the vineyard highlights the importance of fairness in leadership, as demonstrated by Satya, Nadella and Henry Ford. Finally, the parable of the mustard seed shows that great things start small. Just like Apple and Airbnb. These lessons prove that success isn't just about money. It's about using resources wisely, building on strong foundations, leading with fairness, and staying committed to a vision, even when it starts small. Entrepreneurs who follow these principles create businesses that don't just grow. They thrive. Which of these lessons stood out to you the most? How can you apply them to your own business or career? Let us know in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more insights on faith, business, and leadership. Let's grow together with wisdom and purpose. Thanks for watching.